Extraordinary times calls for extraordinary measures. That's why at University Subaru, we've assembled the finest vehicles for the largest pre-owned sale we've ever had. This place is bursting with pre-owned values that not only make financial sense, they make good safety sense too. We've reduced pricing on everything we have, including the largest new and pre-owned Subaru inventory in Missouri. When this special purchase is gone, the sale will end. Please join us while the selection is at its peak. University Subaru, the wise pre-owned choice.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends. This is Wednesday. It's March the 27th. We're going to talk about spring in just a couple of minutes with Bradford Farm. But first of all, I want to introduce you to James Stowe, who is Coordinator of Injury Prevention at University Hospital. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Paul.
James Stowe. You're with the Trauma Services, right?
That's right.
And today you wanted to talk about something that I'm not sure that I really want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it.
All right.
Transitioning seniors away from driving.
Well, yes, the planning for that eventuality. Yes.
The planning for eventually not being able to drive
That's
once
right.
you're a senior. Now, what age group are you talking about here?
Well, we really see any type of age can face this possibility. It's really dependent on a medical impairment. And that is when people need to start thinking about transitioning away from driving.
So what medical impairment?
Anything that affects vision, thinking and memory, or motor skills. If you have some of those specific conditions, that can really impair your ability to drive
Okay,
safely.
now here's what I see happening with me.
Yes.
And I'm 67. I'll be 68. I have a hard time driving at nighttime.
Absolutely.
Now, you told me this is something that starts when you're 25 years old?
Yes, it does.
So then I shouldn't feel too bad about that.
No. It starts when you're really young, and you'll see that decline in your vision at nighttime all the way until you pass away. So it's a continual decline at a very young age.
Now, I know one way to improve that, if making the roads white instead of black. When the roads are black and it's raining, you can't see them at all.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are you doing to help people transition away from driving?
Well, we're testing a new program through Trauma Services, and we basically are using a peer-led approach. So using other older people who can relate to aging and those hardships, and they are meeting with these older people that we've identified, and they're kind of helping them plan and think about that eventual day when they have to give up the keys.
And that can be a pretty emotional thing.
Oh, it's terrible, yes.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Because then it's almost like you're giving up your independence. You're giving up part of you.
That's
not
right.
being able to go and get in that vehicle and go when you want to go.
That's right, but here's a hopeful thing, Paul. We see that if people adapt properly to this, it can be an opportunity for something good. They can change their life in a positive way. They can make new relationships, have new interactions. So we find that it's really not that negative overall, especially when you watch people go through this process over time. Initially, it's very difficult. Over time, it gets easier and easier.
Wow. Okay. I mean, you make it sound nice.
Absolutely.
So you understand the situation. Are you working with the people directly?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually trained as a gerontologist and pursuing my PhD in that field.
Oh, and that's why you're kind of looking at me and, the poor guy, he's going to come to that point one day.
Absolutely, yes.
Not for a long time, though. But if people want more information on this, or if they want to sign up for the program, what can they do, James?
Well, currently we're just testing it at the hospital, so those are hospital patients.
Oh, you're not doing it to the public?
Not to the public yet, but we are going to launch a website that kind of makes this process available to the general public.
Okay.
And it'd be www.mobileage.org.
www.mobileage.org. And when will this website be available?
It should be available in April.
Oh, well, that's just like a week away.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. James Stowe, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, Paul.
By the way, how old are you?
We won't talk about age.
Okay. I gave you mine there, James. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And I hope the program is a big success.
Thank you so much.
Right. Now we come to Tim Reinbott, Bradford Farm. Good to have you here, Tim.
How you doing, Paul?
The last time you were on, it was the end of summer, and we were going through terribly dry, hot condition. And one thing I remember from last year, you came in here about this time, and we were talking about the year before, how awful it was,
Yes.
so dry and hot, and we said we can't have another summer like that. And you said, well, wait a minute. I heard a forecast that it was going to be as bad or worse, and you were right. You were right. Now, What is your forecast for this year?
Very close to trend line.
Trend line.
Trend line.
Which means not like it was last year.
Not like it was. Maybe a little warm, maybe a little dry, but nothing like last year.
So we should get
can live with.
We should get some substantial rains.
Right. We might get them in just big bursts from time to time, like what we've got here in early March that we got, but something like that.
But what you're saying is this summer should be pretty close to normal.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we can start all of our plants now.
I hope you're right.
Oh,
I hope
gosh.
you're right. Okay, so this is March 27th. What can we do now?
Oh, this is the ideal time now to start our homegrown tomato seeds.
Yeah. You know what I did? I bought I saw one of the, in the Sunday papers, they have all those ads. Well, I bought, they're called pot tomatoes.
Oh,
pot tomatoes, the seeds. And I was going to call you before I bought them, but I was so excited about it. They said you can start them indoors, and they'll grow indoors, outdoors, anything, and you'll have hundreds of pounds of tomatoes off of one plant. Well, I bought 6 of those little seed things. You get one seed for like $12 or so.
Oh my goodness.
I hope they work.
I do too.
But you've heard of these things?
Yes, kind of like our topsy-turvy tomatoes. They didn't quite work out, but you never know.
Yeah, but you've heard of tomatoes that'll grow anywhere?
Well, tomatoes are pretty resilient to start with.
Okay, they say these will grow indoors or outdoors. But I just want, and I will have tomatoes in less than 60 days. So I start them in March. I'm going to have my tomatoes.
1st of May.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Okay.
But there's so many tomatoes out there now.
Yeah.
And I've never seen so many at our garden center, so many different types of seed. I think the word's getting out that there's dark tomato, or dark purple tomatoes, or pink tomatoes, and orange tomatoes, and white tomatoes.
I like the red tomatoes.
Oh, well.
I like the red, and the beefsteaks are mine. But is it better to start your tomatoes from seed yourself in those little pots, or is it better to buy them already started?
I believe it's better to start yourself. That way you know they're going to be disease-free.
What do you mean?
Well, often our tomatoes get their first diseases when they're very, very little. So if you buy some new seed, and you get nice garden mix soil,
so they're going to be disease-free.
You know it's disease-free, yes.
Okay.
And then also you know what you get.
Okay. You brought.
We've got.
Tim, we're almost out of time, but
we've got 150 different varieties of tomatoes here.
150 different tomatoes. Can people contact you at Bradford Farm?
And I can tell you all about them.
So if they contact you at Bradford Farms or come out there, you will give them information about tomatoes.
Yes.
How do they contact you?
It's 573-884-7945.
Okay. And will you come back again?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you how they're doing.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Tim, thank you. I'm excited about those tomatoes.
Exactly.
Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers, KVIA. Our flow director is Zach Lawhorn. Our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Tomorrow, we've got Vera Massey on. We'll see you. Bye-bye.